थोड़ी कुर्सी ऊपर करना मेरी। Good evening, everybody. I welcome you all in my webinar on complete and sustainable relief from pancreatitis, recurring, acute, or pancreatitis by using Ayurvedic medicine. This is going to be my first webinar to address you wherever you are. So, friends, pancreatitis is the disease of last 1 century. 120 years back, this was reported as the first case in the West. And since then, the disease has uprising trend globally. The data says that it has no cure, it is progressive, and very surprisingly, there are many myths about it. Because the disease comes from the West, it is believed that it is more prevalent among alcoholic. But Indian scenario is different, and the study also say that southern state of India has the highest incidence of pancreatitis. But I had been doing this treatment, which is based on Ras Shastra in Ayurveda, for nearly 4 decades. It is the work of my late father, who incidentally formulated a formulation which I will present in my slides, how we make it, what is the medicine. And then more than 41 years, this formulation is in practice for the treatment of many diseases. And what we found very interestingly that I will share, that it is not true that it is only in South India. It is not true that it is among alcoholic. So why it is happening and what we are doing, the disease which has a big challenge to the world and increasing trend with quite high mortality and bring physical, mental and financial stress to the families, how easy it is to treat. So be with me and I shall be happy to reply your queries if you wish. And this webinar is just to share the information, is share my experiences, which I have accumulated over the periods of last 20 years, because in last 20 years, we have documented each and every case, whether it was successful, it was failure, it was dropout, or patient did not continue the treatment. Everything is very transparent. And we have few publications, we have ongoing researches. So I hope you will enjoy this webinar, and I will present this in the form of slides, and feel free to put your questions. And I hope you might have taken our contact details, which I will again show for a few seconds on the screen, and then we'll proceed with my webinar. So good luck to you, and hope you will enjoy it. अब मुझे करना है क्या? Here we are. So I will jump to the topic. And first is, what is pancreatitis? So pancreatitis, as the word means, pancreas and titis. That means inflammation in the pancreas. So any inflammatory disorder of the pancreas is termed as pancreatitis. Next question comes, what happens in pancreatitis? So when there's inflammation, it blocks the secretion of enzymes outside the pancreas, and then these affects our digestion, but the enzymes within the pancreas starts eating surrounding tissues, surrounding cells. So cell restriction starts in pancreatitis, and that is called autophagy. And there are two types of pancreatitis, acute and chronic. So usually acute and chronic is a lay words. One can understand what is acute, what is chronic. But in pancreatitis, acute and chronic are marked differently by one thing, that if there is any changes in the images, then it is chronic, and it can start from the day one. And acute means symptoms are there, but there is no change in the image. But a study says from Australia, done on more than 18,000 cases, that anybody who has faced one attack of acute pancreatitis may convert into chronic pancreatitis in due course of time. As I said in my introductory remarks, that the disease is still not understood properly. What is the cause? But TIGARO factors are commonly believed for the cause of pancreatitis. T for toxins, I for idiopathic, G for genetic, that it comes from the family, A is autoimmune disease, then recurrent and severe acute pancreatitis may cause chronic pancreatitis, and obstruction in the bile stone or pancreatic stone can cause chronic pancreatitis. And the symptoms are largely associated with severe abdominal pain in the upper part, and radiating to back with nausea, vomiting, and other features are weight loss. Steatorrhea means fat in the stool, and uncontrolled blood sugar. These are the basic features. But there are cases who may not experience any symptom but still can have the disease process in the body. Now the question comes, how to diagnose pancreatitis? Any pain, every vomiting is not pancreatitis. So pancreatitis should be diagnosed very cautiously and at the earliest, but it should be done under an expert advice, and gastroenterologist, the one who is well versed with pancreatitis and other disorder of gastroenterology, will be the right person to diagnose the disease. And diagnosis is not merely based on clinical symptoms. There are blood tests, there are imaging, and the most reliable test for the diagnosis of pancreatitis are two. One is invasive, one is non-invasive. The invasive one is ERCP. So sometimes it is for diagnostic, sometimes it is for treatment, and sometimes it is causative also. So the other one is MRCP, which is non-invasive, and at this moment it is considered to be most authentic one to first diagnose and to evaluate the progression of the disease in future. But here MRCP again should be done by a competent radiologist. Then how to treat pancreatitis? So when an attack comes, so usually patients are, pain is severe and cannot be treated easily by normal blood painkillers. So they are emergency hospitalized, and then they are given IV fluids, painkillers, antibiotics, anti-inflammatory, etc., and the lifelong enzymes with protein and fat restricted diet. This disease has a peculiar nature that it is irreversible in nature, that whatever has happened, it will stuck to that, but not only that, it will progressive in coming years and convert into fatal. And the data we have from the Western world, it says that 40% of the pancreatic patient convert into pancreatic cancer in due course, and 90% developed uncontrollable diabetes. So the two type of diabetes, one is type 2 diabetes, and the one is pancreatitis induced diabetes. And here this type of diabetes has more complication. And here, the sad part, that 17% patient die in first 5 years of the diagnosis, 10% die in 10 years, 30% die in 10 years, and 55% patient die in 20 years of the diagnosis. But there are many unfortunate who can have fatality even in the first attack of the disease, or any attack can be fatal. But this data that I'm presenting you, it is from the Western world. Unfortunately, India does not have any statistics about its number of cases, about its prevalence, and same thing, we don't have any data to know about the survival and the recovery of that. But there are few studies which is present here. In one study, it is told that southern state of India has the highest incidence of pancreatitis, while out of 100,000, the number of patients in the Western world is between 1 to 27. But in this paper, it is mentioned that nearly 114 to 200 patients out of 100,000 get pancreatitis in southern state of India. There's a second study from Maharashtra which says that pancreatitis in Indian scenario is more prevalent among non-alcoholic, and they have attributed it to the protein malnutrition and mineral deficiency, and they name it tropical chronic pancreatitis. Our findings are very much similar to that study, because that I will present, that number of the cases who are coming to us, they fall the category of non-alcoholic and protein malnutrition, as they are vegetarian most of the time. And the third reference is what I've given here. It is from our own study, where we have collected demography of the pancreatitis patient. And we found that pancreatitis is increasing all over India. And this demography is among the dietary pattern and their habitat and where they're living. Now I'd like to apprise you from where this treatment comes. As I said, this is the work of my father. So this was an incidental discovery in mid-70s by my late father, Vaidya Chand Prakash ji, who was from Meerut. And he used to prepare his own medicine in his own house. And he was the master of Ras Shastra. Ras Shastra is a specialized branch of Ayurveda which deals with the toxic metals like mercury, gold, silver, copper, iron, zinc, tin, lead, and other substances of plant and animal origin. These are all moderate to severely toxic, and that is very well mentioned in traditional texts. But there's a methodology to convert these toxic metals into therapeutic mineral complex, and that way he was doing. So once he took copper, mercury, and sulfur, and after years and years of the processing, when it was in final stage, incidentally, he was approached by a dying patient of cancer pancreas in 1972. My father refused, that I won't be able to help you, because he was just in his last moments. But this family was adamant to take treatment, and my father just tried that newly formed formulation on this patient. And what happened? This patient showed recovery within 15 minutes, felt hungry, his pain disappeared, and then he was given few days medicine, he left, and then his attendants were coming, and my father was sure that he will not survive. But to his great surprise, the man survived, the man recovered completely. There was with no evidence of disease, and he had 38 years long survival after that recovery. So that was a first incidence, and which gave me a deep impression about the therapeutics of metal-based treatment when I was in my 9th class. Long journey. I passed my intermediate, I passed through my graduation, and I was seeing anecdotal success of my father on certain diseases, and I was seeing his failure on many diseases. But his success was mind-boggling. As a student of science, modern science, I was seeing some observation that this is working, this is not working. My father died in 84, and then I joined my Ayurveda. I also passed out in 84, and then I carried the legacy. I started preparing medicine, giving it to the patient, and then I found I'm able to repeat the same results. And then the basic knowledge of science basically this motivated me to document it to my practice, and I started documenting this disease as well in my practice from January 97. So today I am going to present you the data of our clinical practice starting from January 1997 to March 2019, where 740 patients have been enrolled for the disease. And this methodology we call observational research following GCP guidelines, and it very much meet with a model called positivism of Mr. Comte. It was 18th century model where everything was observation, like observation of Newton, observation of Archimedes, observation of Magnus, observation of Fleming. They lead to research. So our model is very clear that what we are observing, that a formulation which is prepared using toxic metals is able to bring sustainable and complete relief, which I'm going to explain you here. Before that, I would like to tell you that these 740 cases have been classified into different category of pancreatitis. It is chronic calcific pancreatitis, chronic pancreatitis, recurrent acute pancreatitis, acute on chronic pancreatitis, necrotizing pancreatitis, early pancreatitis, and group pancreatitis. I want to make it very clear that I am not the one who can diagnose pancreatitis. These are the patients who had the problem. They went to nearby hospital, then they went to the specialist, and when the specialist confirmed they had the pancreatitis, so whatever we are writing, this is that. These patients were not merely diagnosed clinically. They had undergone blood tests, they had undergone MRCP, ERCP, CT scan, and ultrasound to confirm the diagnosis. So here we make the record of everyone that we want to make sure that the patient were well diagnosed before coming to us. And here is the history. How long they had the disease. So we found that the majority of the patient have the history of 1 to 5 years, but there are other cases are there up to 15 years. We didn't find much after 20 years of diseases because as we can say that there is a mortality after 20 years. So in our practice, we hardly get patients who can say that we have disease for 20 years. But this is the classification as per the history of the disease. This is the data which is very much resembling to the present data on pancreatitis, that the disease is more prevalent among males than female, and the average onset of the disease is written in 24 years, and it is also there. Here you can see that average age of onset is 24 years, but the disease is prevalent among 11. We are seeing a good number of patients coming into children under 11. Then adolescents are also having good number of patients. And then the maximum one we have between 19 to 30 and 19 to 45. And older the age, lesser the incidence, but the patients, we can say that none of the age group is spared of pancreatitis. That's interesting. See, we tabulated our data when we completed our 100 cases, then 250 cases, then 555 cases, and today at 740. What we find in consistency that non-alcoholic outnumber alcoholic. This is total contrary to the belief that alcohol causes pancreatitis. We are not advocating alcohol here, but we cannot say that alcohol is the only cause of pancreatitis, as our years-long studies are showing, everyday studies showing the disease is more prevalent among non-alcoholic. Vegetarian and non-veg goes hand in hand. And again, non-tobacco use. Their maximum patients belong to non-tobacco user family, and only 1/4 patients can say that they had tobacco users. The other phenomena is genetic disposition. So here again we say that only 5% patients are those who had family history, and the rest patients they had for the first time. So one has to think differently about its cause. And here, if I use Google Map as an indicator, then North India has is doing outnumbering than South India. You can see Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Haryana, Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Punjab. These are from the northern part of India. So they constitute nearly 2/3 patients out of 740 cases. Some people argue that since you are based in North India, the disease is there. I said, fair enough, I respect you. But why there is no reference of pancreatitis in North India in any medical book? Anyway, this data is interesting, and I will be very happy if our research bodies, especially ICMR, who run epidemiological studies, who run different program in the study, they go to the colleges or community and try to find out what is the geographical distribution of the disease. What is the Ayurvedic treatment? So I will tell you how we make it, but before that I will say it is a herbo-mineral Ayurvedic formulation which shows its best result at 3 mg per kg body weight. So in 3 divided doses. So maybe a patient is 50 years, 50 kilo, 50 kg, then we will recommend 50 milligram 3 times a day. 55 kilo, 50, 55 milligram 3 times a day. And most of the pancreatitis patients have some other disorders, fatty liver, gallbladder sludge, gallbladder stone, colitis, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, duodenitis. So depending on that condition, we are using Crack 20, Hingvashtak Churna, Narikal Lamar, Rason Bati, Kamduda Ras, Lavan Bhaskar Ras, Dhatri Loss, Shivakshar Pachan Churna, and Sushekar Ras. These are all classified Ayurvedic medicines which are prepared in a pharmacy, and we keep on combining depending on the condition of the patient. But my favorite formula is Prac 20, Amar, and Rason-Bati. And the rest of the medicines are given off and on. Ayurveda is based on a concept of Ahar Vihar Aushadh, diet, lifestyle, and medicine. We have observed that alone no medicine works until it is supported by a balanced diet, which is fresh, which is in good quantity, or sufficient to digest. So based on that, we have designed a diet plan for this patient, which is 1200 to 16 calories per day and divided into 3 meals, 3 snacks. And other thing, as inflammation is there, so we give complete mental and physical rest. The patient should first 4 months give maximum rest to his body and mind, and then he can do other activities. And here we talk about the results. As I said in my previous slide, the death rate is 55%. And here we can say 10 out of 740. So our success, our death rate has come down to nearly 1.2%. So it is highly significant that Ayurvedic treatment could reduce the burden of the disease, the mortality, from 55% to 1.2%. And if I go elaborate further, then I will tell you why so. The patient who have liver impairment, maybe uh, other liver problem, high bilirubin, etc. So two patients who could not respond to this treatment, they have bilirubin more than 20 ml in their blood level. So they could not get benefit of that, and they pursued. The other patients who come to us with chronic active hepatitis and pancreatitis, so in some cases, we don't get success. But there is a link between all titis, colitis, hepatitis, like that. And there are one case I remember that who was well, and after 4 years, he got sudden attack of pancreatitis, and he could not reach to the hospital that time. And there are case who had normal heart attack after the disease. So I can say easily now that the disease, the medicine which is being used, it is significantly effective, as 386 patients, more than 50% patients are leading a disease-free life after completing 1 year of treatment. There are two patients out of 740 or 386 who have completed the treatment that we did not improve progression. Fair enough, we can write it. Though they said we could not comply with it, but we took it as our failure. 230 patients are still on treatment. We have an interesting category here of 15 patients. They came to us, they undertook counseling, they paid us, and they took medicine, but they did not start. They had an inbuilt fear from their families, from the society, that toxic metals are there, and that's our crusade. That's we are trying to do by documenting our practice, by bringing transparency that metals are toxic if not processed properly, and metals, when processed properly, they can treat the disease. So these 15 cases took the medicine but never started. The 5 cases we are not able to contact them, and 92 patients dropped out from the treatment due to obvious reason, and that is there. But still we can say the patient who have completed 386 cases in 1 year time. Here is a comparison 1 year before of Ayurvedic treatment and 1 year after Ayurvedic treatment. And I want to tell you here that all these patients, 386 patients, majority of them, nearly 70%, were taking pancreatic enzymes on day-to-day basis, which is written in the right side of this slide. 290 cases were taking enzymes, and their enzymes were stopped immediately from the day one when Ayurvedic treatment was started. They were taking enzymes, but still 264 patients out of 386 had weight loss, and 40 patients said they were gaining weight. And then another category weight gain is that before Ayurvedic treatment, only 6 patients said they gained weight, but after 1 year of Ayurvedic treatment, 178. And the number of attacks, 1496 in 1 year by all these enrolled patients. And that has reduced to 86. Highly significant, no comparison, and even statistics is easily visible here. Other thing, it reduced the financial burden as it reduced emergency hospitalization. So first, it was 922, which has come to 32. So this is very clear impact of Ayurvedic treatment, which has no proven pharmacology so far. It has no mode of action, but the results are astonishing, and what is showing, we are presenting what we are experiencing. This we started recently to know one thing: what is the status of the pancreatitis? Clinically, they are okay. Are they still progressing? So 190 cases have been reviewed after Ayurvedic treatment and before Ayurvedic treatment, and there's not a single case where we can say there's a progression of the disease after taking Ayurvedic treatment. In Ayurveda, there's a definition of medicine. Medicine should be easily available. Medicine should be able to treat the disease. There should be no relapse, and there should be no other effect. So if we see our result on pancreatitis, we can say the medicine which is being used in the treatment of pancreatitis has all these components, as is very easy to take. Second thing, it can eliminate the disease. Third thing, it does not cause any side effect. And fourth thing, it does not cause any other disease. It is contrary to the belief of modern medicine. When they treat one disease, they produce two more diseases. And when these two diseases are treated, then they cause 10 more diseases. Here, patients get only one medicine for pancreatitis. And then here you can see that the patient who was treated in 1997, he has completed 22 years disease-free survival. The group more than 15 to 20 years, 10 to 15 years. So we are continuing these things, that the patient who are once well, they remain well. I have explained about it, that this medicine comes from a special branch of Ayurveda that is called Rasa Shastra. It deals with the therapeutics of mercury. And it was popular in India in 6th century. It was evolved in Takshila, which is now in Pakistan, and in Nalanda, which is in Bihar. And there's a rich literature and big stories about its miraculous cure. But unfortunately, the scenario is not so. Still, Rasa Shastra is making its big comeback, and I'm trying to contribute to that crusade of our government. But friends, I would like to tell you one thing. Though I use Rasa Shastra, I practice Rasa Shastra, and we are able to bring complete and sustainable relief to number of pancreatitis patients, there is no direct reference of pancreatitis and Ras Aushadhis, because world pancreas is missing in Ayurveda. They say Yakrit Pilharog, one side is liver, second side is the spleen, and whatever you want to interpret it, you can do that. And here we are to show you what is this medicine. So on the left side, on the top, it is Parad. Parad means mercury. Parad means Shiva. Parad means king of all metals, which is being used in the preparation of the medicine. The second is down, sulfur. Sulfur is as goddess Parvati, and it is used in the preparation of that. On the top, third, it is copper wire. Copper wire means which has been used, which has gone bad fate. We use them because these are the good source of copper. And then lastly, you will see lemon and two herbs on the right and left. These herbs are Laffa echinacea and Ternatia claysura, which are not available commercially. So we are growing them, we are getting them, and these herbs have no role on pancreatitis. Then why it is being used? So these herbs are used as an intermediate to convert metals into metallic form. So there is a chemistry, these are alkaline agent. When they go into mercury, and mercury get disintegration. So science is how to disintegrate mercury into the form which can be digested in the body. This is a picture of mercury. And here mercury, the Lord Shiva, it goes about 9 months processing, heating, grinding, and evaporating, grinding, evaporating. So this particular type of mercury is processed under a shivling shape Urdhvatana Yantra. This is our innovation, because our Shastras talk about Urdhvatana Yantra. We are not able to do it. So we have prepared a specialized thing which resembles like Shivlinga. And here, this process people are grinding. After that, it comes to this place. 7 times we take out mercury from copper. Then we take out 7 times from these plants based organic compound, Kalihari jute, canary jad, afim, to this aake ka doodh, tuwar ka doodh, like that. And once it is done, it is ground with copper for earthworm and evaporated further. So this mercury somebody can say Bubukshit Bharat, but this Bubukshit Bharat do not meet with the Ayurvedic concept of Bubukshit Bharat, but it is ready to copulate. And we did a study long back, and it showed that outer orbit of Mercury becomes more active than that, and that may be bhuka. That when you are hungry, you show your hunger, then somebody come forward and give you something. But if you don't show something, nothing will happen. Third thing is Tamra Shodhan. Tamra means copper. Here copper is taken, and there's a methodology for the purification of copper. And I will not say purification, it is a Shodhan. Shodhan is a sanskar which is going to change the metallic characteristic of a metal. So here copper is red hot, poured into the crucibles. Again, that is put into copper, this cow's urine, then buttermilk, then trifla, then kulsi. These are the things where it has undergone 7 times red hot, 7 times poured into it. Again, we are using technology here. It is the LDO furnace. It is not classical Ayurvedic furnaces, but this way we are doing. And these are the Kuthali, Mitti, crucible clay, which come from them. So after doing 7 times with the sesame seed oil, 7 times with the buttermilk, 7 times with the amla, trifla, this medicine become pure. And now the picture comes the sulfur. Sulfur is melt with ghee and then again pour into decoction of trifla. And this is dried form, and one can say that's the Gandhak Shodhan. So sulfur is done, copper is done, and then sulfur is done, copper is done, and mercury is done. When it is all done together, so copper and mercury are emulsified, dry with lemon juice. And when they dry up, we add copper into it with the sulfur into it, and that becomes a black powder. And this black powder is further ground with the lemon juice, which has been soaked with Lapha acuminata and Claridoria ternatia for many hours, and then it is ground. And to bring quality assurance, we have incorporated here this particle size analyzer. So whatever we grind here, it is we have a data of that, and we have developed that if we follow the same procedure, same medicine will come. So this particle size is a very important part of our medicine, because there is no reference in the books how long one should do. It was Guru Shishya Parampara when Guru's eyes were the benchmark. Now we don't have that Gurus and we don't have those Shishyas. So we have to develop the physical standards. And since then we incorporated this tool of physics, modern physics, our success rate is quite high. And we don't need to sit around the clock over the heads of this making medicines. The second part of making medicine is heating. After grinding, these medicines are sealed in clay pots, and you can see here, these clay pots are damru shape. One is down, one is top, but the upper one has a thin tube inside, because when you evaporate sulfur, sulfur goes up. But here what we are doing, we are trying to do this sublimation of sulfur by keeping some sulfur inside, and these medicines which we take out after cooling, it has sufficient amount of sulfur, but we again add sulfur, and we keep on evaporating these herbs things. And here the temperature is the key. So initially they were used on certain type of wood, which we are using here. This is the amrud wood, babul wood, and adu wood, because they give consistency. We put heat sensor and we found that data we have 380 degree to 420 degree, that gives identical result. And after that, we initially use this technology for our R&D purposes. But right now we are making medicine using only traditional one, because the cost of production goes 40 times high if we use modern technology to prepare, I know it will be done better. But as long as I'm there, I think I don't need anything because of the experience. So these two important factors, grinding, heating, is of necessary for medicine. And after heating, when it is cooled down, it is taken out. This is the down clay pot and this is the top clay pot. And the top clay pot, we have a tube inside, and this is sulfur. This sulfur we use again, but this copper, mercury, and sulfur which is remaining inside is our main thirst area. We again grind them and again heat it. We again grind them, we again heat it, and we usually do it minimum 60 times to convert this therapeutic metal into non-toxic form. And here is the science. Here you can see copper and mercury together. Where it gone after 7 days? Little trace. And after 32 cycles and after 50 cycles, where we can see, and this is our formula, that this medicine has no free metal, and that's why we are not seeing anything. So this test is called non-destructive analytical method, which is necessary for Ayurvedic ras ordi, because usually metals make very fast chelates with other things. So since we have done 3 batches of this medicine and we found consistency, this medicine has received patent through through a patent office of the country. Another issue, burning issue of herb medicine, this ras ordi, is toxicity. It's not true that only modern medicine knew that these are toxic. The master of Ras Shastra knew that these metals are toxic, but in raw form. They evolved a methodology. But that will not satisfy, that will not please people, because it is the era of evidence. And there is a protocol for everything. So we first prepare 3 batches of medicine as per WHO guidelines, reproducibility. Second thing was safety. So we subjected this medicine for safety studies in a institute which is internationally accredited for carrying these things. And this is the Viprajan Institute, this clinical research organization. They developed the protocol, we gave the formula, we gave the medicines, and then we found after acute, subacute, and chronic toxicity, which is more than 180 days plus 90 days, it shows completely safe. There is no side effect of the medicine, and it's quite embarrassing, because we say we have no side effect, but it is a fact, friends, that this medicine, when prepared this way, it has no side effect. After analysis, after safety, after this, we thought to conduct a pancreatitis protective properties of the tamar in albino rats. And it was a big surprise to me when I read that L-arginine induced pancreatitis. And this is the medicine which are widely used by many for different things. And since we don't have any link between arginine and this, so our masters, though they know in personal level it is bad, they keep on giving to the patient. So we took about a few animals in that, and these animals were giving 3 meals, 3 snacks as we give to the patient, and then there was weight loss of these patients. These body weight of these animals were taken. And these were different groups. That one group was given L-arginine to produce it, L-arginine plus 25 milligram, different doses. And what we found here, it was again an interesting finding, that this herbo-mineral formulation, this complex of metals, metal to mineral, had therapeutic value at a particular dose, and that was 4 milligram per kg body weight. That was interesting, but so far, there is no such study in the country where it shows about the maximum tolerance dose of any herbal medicine. And I personally believe that whether it's a herbal origin or metal origin, they should be evaluated in today's era for their therapeutic value. This is the second study. It was repeated because this in the previous study, it was compared with steroid, and steroids are known anti-inflammatory, but this medicine showed much better without showing any grade 2 toxicity as it was shown in this steroid treatment group. So to confirm our belief, we sponsored another study, and this time this medicine was given at 2 doses: 3 mg per kg body weight, 4 mg body weight, 6 mg body weight. So we found that under the circumstances, it doesn't work less than 3 mg per kg body weight, and the results are the same of 4 mg, 4 mg, 3 mg, and 4 mg per kg body weight, but higher the dose, lesser the result. So now these two studies are able to give us clear insight that this medicine, this complex made out of copper, mercury, sulfur, has therapeutic value and it can reverse pancreatitis easily. And here we have these publications, which was carried out after completing first 250 cases. It came from Korea. Then these are the poster abstracts which were presented in USA last year. This is the same thing in a journal, and these are again observation clinical studies of pancreatitis which I presented in USA last year. And this is recently published paper from America on 555 cases of pancreatitis. And while we were doing it, here I would like to recall my mentor, who is none other than late President of India, Shri K.R. Narayanan. He always said that whenever you do something, you do good for academic, you do for scientific community, but you write something for community also. So I was inspired by his wordings, and these all books are not for promotion. They are only given to the pancreatitis patients free of cost. And we keep on generating data, like it was on 48 cases, it was on 100, it was 255, and this was on 555 cases. So if one see them, they will see the clear-cut graph that how medicines are, how the disease is progressing, irrespective of caste, community, and religion, and how it is going to help the patients by using this Ayurvedic medicine. Our direction is very clear. One side, we are working to develop this medicine following WHO guidelines for reproducibility, safety, and efficacy. Meanwhile, we don't want to deprive the people who want to come for treatment, because research may take years, and this will, and since there's no cure in the West, what they do, they will keep on doing operation, stunting, this pancreatic, this tissues going to liver, like that. But here, we are very clear that once we are able to successful in this, we want to set up a facilities to treat 1,500 cases. We have recently set up a facility in Rudhpur in Udham Singh Nagar, where our capacity is only 475. But we are sure that the number of patients will increase, that we will be able to treat more and more cases. Second thing, we are taking drug development. Following guidelines of WHO, we are able to reach reproducibility, we are able to do some safety studies, we are able to do this preclinical studies, and these are the step forward for the development of medicines. We have other doses also, that how to ascertain the doses, as I already showed you, and a few other models where we are working on. And the least and last, randomized clinical trial. Many of my colleagues do not believe in randomized clinical trial on Ayurvedic medicine, but I think it is a strong arm of modern medicine, because they take two groups and randomly one took Ayurvedic, one took allopathic. And without any hesitation, I was in Jaipur, and you don't need big institute for that. Even you can do in a smaller institute, provided you are very clear, very transparent to that. So we have decided to carry a randomized clinical trial, and we have our first meeting on 21st January at 21st May at Jaipur, because this trial will be carried at Jaipur, and we have a program advisory committee chaired by Dr. V.M. Katoch, who is the former DG ICMR, and other very learned people from Ayurveda and allopathy to monitor, to guide this stat. And our aim is very clear that by doing so, we will be able to establish the therapeutics of copper in medicine, which at the moment is missing. And this is the faces of the family, Padav, and who are in that family? They are the patients, and patients and their attendant. They celebrate their festivals, they celebrate their birthdays, they celebrate their diversities. We have so far patients from 22 states of India, from 12 states of the world. They come, they hear about us, and they keep on coming from different part of the country and the world. And this is a young team. What we have 8 core group members with us, which includes biotechnology, Ayurvedic doctors, commerce, agriculture. And these young team, they work relentlessly 24 hours, 7 days a week, because without their contribution, this team is not. So this team, it comes from late Vaidya Prakash ji, who is an elderly figure. Then I am the one who has converted senior citizen, and now these are 30, under 30 team of Padav, which are giving shape to a new treatment protocol. I've used certain references in this slide. So if any of you, though it will be available on the net forever, still you want something, so these references are available, which have been quoted in the respective slides. So none is friction, none is my belief. Everything is based on the fact about the results. And as you can see that there are many testimonials of the patients. They come from this data because when they are done, they show their happiness. And with these words, so with these words, I would like to say thanks to all of you for attending my first webinar, because we keep on getting inquiries from all over the world. Every day, our office receives 5 to 7 inquiries. People have fear, people have apprehension, and everybody can come in this part of Uttarakhand, which is in district Udham Singh Nagar, Rudrapur, and we have a 25 room facility in Gadarpur Tehsil, which we recently shifted from Dehradun because of the space shortage. And second thing, we were not able to prepare this medicine because they need rural area. It takes about 3 years to convert this toxic material into therapeutic value. So this is one tool of the science, and I always believe that Ayurveda had been traditional system of medicine. We use so much scientific tools in our day-to-day life. We have to bring more and more science into Ayurveda, and our model is a bit different than other Ayurvedic doctors. I strongly believe that modern diagnostics coupled with emergency medicine and Ayurvedic treatment protocol can bring big help, big rescue to the patient, because when the patient come to us, they are not able to eat, they are not able to drink. And one of the beauty of this treatment is that the first dose of this medicine is given with upper skin of milk, which is fat. We use butter, we use ghee, we use normal food, and but we try to keep constraint on their quantity, and gradually they become well. So this treatment is very promising. It is helping a lot, and number of patients are doing better. So I took this opportunity to apprise you who we are, what we are doing, and if you still wish to learn more, you can contact us through our website. Uh, and there are a few questions which I will read, and I will reply to you while we were reading. My associate, Sneha Tiwari, is reading for me. So I will reply you one by one. Thank you very much.
Mrinal Gadge,
Hmm.
can you please share root cause for pancreatitis in such small case? His daughter is our patient already. She's 3 years old. I had genetic testing done and it was negative. So he wants to know what is the root cause for pancreatitis in such small age.
I have a question from Mr. Mrinal Gore
Gadge,
Gadke
Maharashtra.
from Maharashtra, whose daughter is 3 years old and right now undergoing treatment with us. And he wanted to know what is the root cause. So, my dear friend, I can say one thing very honestly and with firm belief, that the medicines which you are using, which you are getting for the treatment, it is a copper mineral complex, and we have the analysis from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, which says there is no free metal in that, and it is a mineral complex. It is a two or three minerals have come together, and this is a mixing. So maybe the deficiency of this mineral is the cause, and once you get it, it is the cure. And there's a studies from the agriculturists that our ecosystem is depleting in minerals from our soil. So depletion of soil, and second thing, moderate to moderate anemia during the puberty or other hepatobiliary disorders. There, it is not only iron deficiency; it is other mineral deficiency. So our belief, our hypothesis, and our work is based on minerals and minerals. Dharana Dhatva, Dhatu, which bears the body. So sona, chandi, gold, silver, copper, iron, lead, zinc, tin, etc. These are essential to our body. And since these minerals are depleting from our ecosystem, from our water, from our soil, and second thing, um, from our day-to-day food, so these are causing this. And with this formulation, we are able to help that. And we believe that in coming era, these formulation which we are making are not only medicine, that can be used by normal person also. So the benchmarking, or they can be as a supplement for the body.
There is another guest who says it is not possible for all patients to take indoor treatment. As you know, the financial condition is not good, so try to provide the facilities all over India.
This is a question about first 3 weeks. What is the name?
Name is
Okay, there is a anonymous message from a person who is asking to provide this treatment all over the India. My dear friend, it is not easy to prepare this medicine. It takes nearly 3 years, day and night, non-stop working to prepare this medicine. Second thing, how to administer. We are giving those food items which are strictly prohibited to pancreatitis patient, like dairy, fat, protein. And when the patient come to us, in spite of our presence, they have fear to take this. And if we don't take this medicine with such diet, it will not work and it can be fatal. So there is a special methodology to administer the drug. So it is a fatal disease, it kills the patient, and we will not take any risk. I know there is a financial constraint. You are right that many people cannot take, but when we have the burden of the disease, we found a interesting calculation that nearly each and every patient spends 7.5 lakhs on an average before coming to us. So in comparison to that, our treatment is only 40% cost. And it is a 1 year treatment. And here we keep them 3 weeks, patient, attendant with everything. So there is a society. Society should take care of those who cannot take the treatment. And there is a society who can contribute more. We also need support from research bodies. My many patients wrote a letter to Prime Minister about its success. Government of India, Ayush Ministry set up a committee under a top gastroenterologist of All India Institute 2 years back. They found it positive. So I think it is the job of the government agencies and societies to support this treatment and to make it all the people. I am doing my job, making medicine, doing research, treating patient. It is a big toll. So I am sorry that I cannot cut the cost because of so many constraints. And there are more constraints have come to us recently, and maybe we will be bound to increase the cost with few thousand rupees in coming months.
There is Purnima Bhutani. My son, who is 14 and a half years old, is currently suffering from pancreatitis. Will your treatment cure my son's pancreatitis completely? Is there any side effect? Please answer.
There's a question from Ms. Purnima Bhutani, who is asking about his son, who is 14 and a half years old. So my message is very clear that this medicine didn't show any side effect if it is followed strictly. We stop tea, coffee, tomato, onion, garlic, red chilies during our food. So we have not come across any side effect. Only thing that this treatment need a lot of patience and at least for 4 months complete bed rest. So with this medicine, your son will be benefited like many others. You can talk to many people. And if you talk to my office and if you share your address and your city, so maybe we'll give you some reference where you can talk with them, meet with them. So it is safe, it is effective, and it brings cure. And that's why my title was very clear: complete and sustainable relief. We are not curing for once. It is a sustainable relief. We have seen it is an ongoing sustainable relief. So you are most welcome. And younger the disease, more aggressive it is. So you can come to us and get benefited. I wish you good luck for your son.
Sandeep Kumar. Sir, I'm a chronic pancreatitis patient. Is my treatment possible? मेरी pancreas में stone थे 10 mm, वो निकल गए. मेरी pancreas ठीक हो जाएगी क्या?
Mr. Sandeep Kumar is again asking for his disease. So as I said, yes, there is a cure for pancreatitis by using this protocol with patience and efforts. You are most welcome for that. Because removing a stone is one therapy, but how to stop formation of new one? Because it is a progressive disease. So once they remove it, they again appear. We have seen that after our medicine, there is no progression. So whatever condition of your pancreas, it will stabilize, and the whatever it is, it will work normally. So you are again welcome, Mr. Sandeep Kumar.
कमलेश जगनायक सर, मुझे पिछले 1 साल से शुगर है, हमेशा 300-400 आता है और पैनक्रियाज में पथरी है.
There's a Mrs. Kamalesh who's talking about uncontrolled diabetes and showing about the stones in that pancreas. Mrs. Kamalesh ji, I think you need to consult a competent gastroenterologist, and your clinical features may resemble with pancreatitis, but I'm not the right person to diagnose. Please contact our office and share your address and detail. We will guide you where to go and get your diagnosis confirmed. If it is pancreatitis, we would definitely like to help you, but we don't treat diabetes.
There is another guest. My daughter is suffering from pancreatitis, one attack after every 6 months, sometimes twice in a month. We are coming over there this month. Will she be fully cured?
Yes, what's his name?
A guest, ma'am.
So I think there's a guest whose daughter is coming next month to us. He's again want to reassure that whether he will be cured. I know these are so many fears, so many apprehension, because Ayurveda had been known for tall claims, so many advertisements and lack of data. So I understand your apprehension, but my dear friend, don't worry. Our mission is very clear. We are promoting evidently effective protocol-based Ayurvedic treatment. We are not making any tall claims merely based on our Shastrokta knowledge. It is fact-based. And I was watching this for last 41 years silently with my father. Then I could do that. So your daughter will be disease-free. Only thing that you have to take good advantage of my experience, which will talk about diet and lifestyle. Don't be in a hurry. So give me 1 year and your daughter will be reborn and she will be active forever. Thank you for joining my webinar.
Merili Mishra. Good evening, sir. My husband is suffering from chronic pancreatitis since last 2 years. Have done stenting thrice in last 3 months. Now metallic stent is installed.
क्या नाम है इनका?
Merli Mishra.
कहाँ से? There's a question from Ms. Mirli Mishra who is talking about her husband, and she's saying that every 2 months her husband is undergoing stenting. Yes, stenting is there because there's inflammation, there's a blockage, but stenting is not the answer. You will find many testimonials in our websites with their telephone numbers. You can meet them. They had gone through stenting and they were not helping. So you join our program and get rid of these recurring episodes of stunting and the misery of pancreatitis. You are most welcome.
There is a guest who wants to ask, how does the main medicine Amar actually work?
What's the name?
Yes.
There's a guest who is asking a question which is my question actually. He's asking how Amar works. I don't know. I don't know, my dear. And that's the science I need. I want to know my medicine works. But if it works, it must be working to do. I'm a Vaidya. I'm not a pharmacologist. I'm a man with limited resources. I want society, I want government to come forward, and after setting up a fact-finding committee, after getting so many calls, then why our government is running behind? Why they are not taking advantage of the work has been done and give it to the scientific community? We have ICMR, we have CDRI, we have so many CSIR lab. I am ready for any sort of collaboration, but if you ask me what is the mode of operandi, I cannot say. I will say, yes, it works. How does it work? I don't know at the moment.
There is Ling Raji, who says, my pancreatitis is under remission and under control. I had one attack in last 10 years. Do I need treatment?
Mr. Lingwalji, you had pancreatitis 10 years back, Lingrajji, and you are in remission. So I don't think that you should worry about it and you should come to us. But my humble suggestion is that you should repeat MRCP every 1 year. And if you see any progression, because sometimes it can be silent. So you go for MRCP, go to a gastrologist, go to a radiologist. If they say you are in remission, you don't need us. And if there is any sign of progression, you are most welcome. But I wish that you don't come to us.
I had spoken to one of the patients you treated and they had calcific pancreatitis. She took treatment there and said her calcification reduced to almost zero. Is it true? Because I have chronic calcification.
What's the name?
Thank you so much.
There is a person who is saying that he talked to one of my patients who had chronic calcific pancreatitis, and the patient reported that after our treatment, his calcification has disappeared. That is a patient perception. I don't think what patient told to him, but I have yet to see resolution of calcification in pancreatitis patient. So, because they may differ, but I say one thing only, that we are able to change the natural history of disease. It is irreversible. We cannot reverse it, but it is progressive, but we are able to arrest it with quality of life. So, my dear friend, I will not give any claim. If the patient had said that he had chronic calcific pancreatitis, his calcification is gone, I wish him, I must congratulate him or her for that thing, but I will not give any false hope that calcification will go away, but your further calcification could be arrested, that I can assure you.
There is Navneet Kaur who wants to ask, this medicine is how much effective in pancreatitis of genetic origin?
Mrs. Navneet Kaur, you are asking about genetic. So in our data, we have shown that nearly 5% cases come to us from genetic disposition, autoimmune thing also. And when it is genetic, on a lighter note, I will say I'm also a genetic Vaidya. I am a Vaidya, my father was a Vaidya, and now my daughter is a Vaidya. So there is a genetic Vaidya to fight with a genetic disease. Yes, our medicine works very well in genetic pancreatitis. You are most welcome to attend the program and get the benefit.
Versatile Bhaskar. Sir, 12 times attack in last 1 year. Please say, what can I do?
Mr. Versatile Bhaskar, if you have attained 12 attack in a year, then I recall my first case, which is available on our website in the book, which has a watch on that, a clock on the top cover. And if you go in the testimonial, you will find first case is of Mr. Nitin Srivastav, who came to us in 1997. He is the first case of that book, and he completes 22 years. He had 17 attacks in 1 year, and he was sent by a top gastrologist of the country. The funny part of that, since then, the doctor who had sent that case to me, who had 17 attacks, that 17 years old boy, 15 or 17 years old boy, since then the doctor did not recommend any new case to me. But that patient is now well for last 22 years. So you will get the um, same fortune. You can trust me, and you are most welcome. So, friends, it's all for today. Thank you very much for joining this webinar. And depending on that thing, and I think this is the easiest and cheapest way to communicate with you from different part of the country, because you had so many questions, so many doubts, so many fear, or you already have you have been suffering with pancreatitis. So I found this is the only way I can share my experience at zero cost with you people, because when you call us, we do a screening, and we do screening to make sure that you had proper diagnosis. We will not make any diagnosis at our own. So our office, which is my program coordinator, is a BTech biotechnology and well versed for last 4 years with this subject. So we want to make sure that there is a correct diagnosis. And once there is a correct diagnosis, we have no doubt about on our capability. So then we start the process of communicating. Then we invite them and we explain to each and everything. There is a total transparency about the treatment, about its costs, and we do daily follow-up of all the patients who are here for first 21 days. Then when they go, they are told that please send us daily email with your diet and lifestyle. I don't think that any other center can cater the need of the patient so well. So we proud on our working. We are satisfied with our results, and we are very happy to bring cheers to many lives. And we wish you the same. See you again. Bye. Thank you very much.